Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskrityam
Narayanam Namaskrityam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Devi
Devim
Saraswati
Saraswati Vyasam
Tato Jayamudire
Tado
Tato
Jayamudire.
Jayamudire
Nashta Prayeshu Yabhatreshu
Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Nityam
Nityam
Bhagavate
Bhagavata
Sevaya.
Sevaya
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke
Bhagavati
Bhagavati Uttama
Uttama
Shloke
Bhakti Bhavatir Naishtiki.
Bhakti Bhavati Naishtiki.
Thank you everybody for joining today. And today we're going to read from chapter 4, verse number 15. And I've got the slides, but I have to apologize. Like this, the Sanskrit part of the verse, the first evam, it starts with evam, it got cut off. So I just go with the English. So we'll read the verse. Evam nyatva kritam karma.
Evam
Evam Nyatva Kritam Karma
Purvair api mumukshubhihi.
Purvairapi Mumukshubhi
Guru karmeva tasmatvam.
Guru Karmeva Tasmatvam
Purvai purvavataram kritam.
Purvataram Kritam
Evam nyatva kritam karma.
Evam
Nyatva Kritam Karma
Purvair api mumukshubhihi.
Purvairapi Mumukshubhi
Guru karmeva tasmatvam.
Guru Karmeva Tasmatvam
Purvai purvataram kritam.
Purvataram Kritam
Evam nyatva kritam karma.
Evam
Evam
Yatva
Nyatva
Karma.
Kritam Karma
Purvair api mumukshubhihi.
Purvairapi Mumukshubhi
Guru karmeva tasmatvam.
Guru
Guru
Karmeva
Karmeva
Tasmatvam.
Tasmatvam
Purvai purvataram kritam.
Purvataram Kritam.
We can have a Prabhuji and a Mataji repeat the verse.
Evam gyatva kritam karmam
Evam Nyatva Kritam Karma
purverapi mumukshubhi
Purvairapi Mumukshubhi
kuru karmeva tatatvam
Guru Karmeva Tasmatvam
purve purvataram kritam.
Purvataram Kritam.
Mataji.
Sachimata, go ahead.
Evam Gyanatva Kritam Karma.
Evam Nyatva Kritam Karma
Purver Api Mumukshubhi.
Purvairapi Mumukshubhi
Guru Karmeva Tasmatvam.
Guru Karmeva Tasmatvam
Purve Purvataram Kritam.
Purve Purvataram Kritam. Evam Nyatva Kritam Karma
Evam Gyanatva Kritam Karma.
Purvairapi Mumukshubhi
Purver Api Mumukshubhi.
Guru Karmeva Tasmatvam
Guru Karmeva Tasmatvam.
Purvetaram Kritam.
Purve Purvataram Kritam.
Thank you. We'll read the word-for-word translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Evam.
Evam
Thus.
Yatva.
Nyatva
Knowing well.
knowing well.
Kritam.
Kritam
performed,
performed,
karma,
Karma.
work,
Work.
purvai,
Purvai.
by past authorities,
By past
past
authorities.
api,
happy,
although,
although
mumukshubhihi,
Mumukshubhi.
who attain liberation,
who
attain
attain
liberation,
guru,
Guru
just perform,
just
Just
perform
perform.
karma,
Karma.
prescribed duty,
Prescribed duties.
prescribed duties.
eva,
eva,
Eva.
Eva
certainly,
certainly,
tasmat,
tasmat,
Tasmat.
therefore,
therefore,
tvam,
Tvam.
you,
you,
purvai,
Purvai.
by the predecessors,
by the
By the
predecessor,
predecessors.
purvataram,
Purvataram,
ancient predecessors,
Ancient predecessors.
kritam,
Kritam,
as performed,
As
as
performed.
performed.
translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Yeah.
You can read after me. All the liberated souls in ancient times
All the liberated
liberated
souls
souls
in
in
ancient times
times
acted with this understanding
acted
acted
with
with
this
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 understanding
understanding
to attain liberation.
and
and
so
so
attain
attain
liberation.
liberation.
As the ancients,
Therefore,
Therefore,
as
as the
the
ancients,
you should perform your duty
you
You
should
should
perform your
perform
duty
duty
in this divine consciousness.
in this
in the
divine
divine consciousness.
consciousness.
Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. There are two classes of men. Some of them are full of polluted material things within their heart, and some of them are materially free. Krishna consciousness is equally beneficial for both these groups. Those who are full of dirty things can take to the line of Krishna consciousness for gradual cleansing process, following the regulative principles of devotional service. Those who are already cleansed of the impurities may continue to act in the same Krishna consciousness, so that others may follow their exemplary activities and therefore be benefited. Foolish persons or neophytes in Krishna consciousness often want to retire from activities without having knowledge of Krishna consciousness. Arjuna's desire to retire from the activities on the battlefield was not approved by the Lord. One need not only know how to act. To retire from the activities of Krishna consciousness and to sit aloof, making a show of Krishna consciousness, is less important than actually engaging in the field of activities for the sake of Krishna. Arjuna is here advised to act in Krishna consciousness, following in the footsteps of the Lord's previous disciples, such as Sun God Vivaswan, as mentioned herein before. The Supreme Lord knows all his past activities as well as those persons who acted in Krishna consciousness in the past. Therefore, he recommends the acts of the sun god who learned this art from the Lord some millions of years ago. All such students of Krishna consciousness are mentioned here as past liberated persons engaged in the discharge of duties allotted by Krishna. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagarajatam Sahaganatam Tam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Shri Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Thank you again everyone for coming joining us today. this class. So this class is, in this class, Krishna is, what is he telling Arjuna? Just look at the translation. All the liberated souls in the ancient times acted with this understanding and so attained liberation. So what is this understanding he's talking about? If you just read the previous words to this, which is like, chapter 14, verse number 14. So what is Krishna saying? Namam karma nilimpati name karma phale spriha iti mam yo vichanati karmer nasa badhyate. There is no work that affects me, nor do I aspire for the fruits of action. One who understands this truth about me also does not become entangled in fruitive overreactions of the work. So all the liberated souls in ancient time acted with this understanding of my transcendental nature. So what is the understanding? That that work does not affect Krishna. Karma is like, does not affect the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he does not have any desire for the fruits of action. So what has to have that? One who has that understanding, so such a person, such a person becomes entangled in fruitive work as well. So that's the first understanding a person needs to get. But is that all? So what this verse is telling us is like, therefore you should perform your duty following in their footsteps. So all the liberated souls of the past, they not only had the understanding like that Krishna is outside karma. Karma does not affect Krishna, and Krishna is not Krishna doesn't aspire for the results. But yet, what did they do? They did not stop working or anything, but they continue to do their prescribed duty or work. And then what happened was the result of that? They attain perfection, or they attain liberation. Therefore, you should perform your duty following in their footsteps. Now let's just look at the purport. Srila Prabhupada said there are two classes of men. Some of them are full of polluted material things within their heart, and some of them are materially free. Krishna consciousness is equally beneficial for these persons. So just think about, our own, ourselves. Most of us, we may have now, because we are in Krishna consciousness and we we chant the holy name. To some extent, we may not be, fully polluted as the Lord is, as Prabhupada is, explaining here. We might have, got some kind of, must have lost that pollution, or we might have got purified to a little extent. But just think of our lives before we started in Krishna consciousness. What would we do? The first thing, we would get up in the morning, and then we would just go look ourselves, we go to the bathroom, look ourselves in the mirror, and what do we think? We are the greatest, we are the deity, we consider ourselves the deity. And then what do? We do abhishekam on ourselves. If if a little bit of, then we have a shower, which is we're doing abhishekam on ourselves. Then what do? After we do abhishekam, we dress ourselves, we do our own shringar, we do our own, we dress ourselves in the most beautiful dress or whatever we have. And then what do? Then we have bhoga, we feed ourselves bhoga with all the 5 different tasty things. And the next thing is we go out to Sankirtan and sing our own glorification, and those who agree with us, we call them we consider them the devas, and if people don't agree with them, they're the asuras. And we may also have some devotees, our own devotees, we may have our wife, our children, or maybe the pet dog in our house, or the pet parrot in our house. They'll all be our devotees. So before, when in a really polluted stage, what happens? We are the deity. We consider ourselves the deity, and everything we do is everything we do is for our own sense gratification, and we like to control things. We think everything can be controlled by us, and everything is for our to be used for our purpose. So that's the whole idea. Like, so what Srila Prabhupada is telling us here, like, but like, so this is the example of a really polluted person. So if that person takes up Krishna consciousness, like slowly he will purify himself. So instead of thinking like when he looks in the mirror, he doesn't see himself as the deity, but to some extent he'll understand he is a servant of Krishna. Then as we get, as we become like, as we start chanting and doing devotional service more, what we'll do, our understanding, like, that the bhoga is for us, that goes away. The understanding that everybody has to sing our glories, that goes away. All those things slowly disappear. And so that's how, like, polluted people, as time goes by, they become less and less polluted. Like cheto darpana marjanam bhava bhavagni nirvapanam, like a mirror which has been full of dust, it slowly gets cleared by the chanting of the Mahamantra. Similarly, chanting of the Mahamantra is devotional service. Similarly, we get less and less polluted. And what is Srila Prabhupada talking about? Like the other class of men, those who are materially free, and those who are full of dirty things can take the line of Krishna consciousness for gradual cleansing process, following the regulative principle of devotional service. Those who are already cleansed of the impurities may continue to act in Krishna consciousness, so others may follow their exemplary activities and therefore be benefited. So these polluted people, they have to learn from somewhere, right? So where do they learn from? They'll learn from other people who are actually completely free. So those people have to set an example. There is a verse in like Bhagavad Gita, tat tat eva taro janas, which means like whatever a great man does, like other people follow in his footsteps. So somebody is great. If somebody is a great, we consider somebody as a great person. So or as a role model, we start following whatever they do. So that's the reason. Like pure people, they have to still show like they may not really have to do it because they're already purified, but they still have to show, so that polluted people start following their footstep and gradually become purified. And what is that? And once they become purified, what happens? They will completely come out of the illusion. What is the illusion? The illusion is like we are the center of the universe. So we start letting go. Only thing, like, and once we let go of the illusion, like we are the center of the, then really nothing really. Then we start dovetailing our activities for the service of Krishna. So that's how the liberated souls acted in the past. We have examples from the past. We have also have example of like sinful people who took Krishna consciousness, because somebody told them. We have the example of Valmiki. He was a very sinful person. What did he do? He was a thief, and he was trying. So when the sages came, he tried to steal from them. The sages advised him, they asked him, why are you doing this? And he said, I have to support my wife and kid. So the sages asked him, so will your wife and children take up the sins like you're accruing because of what you're doing? So Valmiki was very sure, they would say yes. So the sages asked Valmiki to go and ask his wife and kid. So he went to his wife and kid, they brought him, and they said, no, why should we? It's your duty to support us. So whatever you're doing to support us, it's your problem. We're not going to take the sins for you. That time, Valmiki understood, about the futility of whatever he was doing. He understood, at the end of the day, nobody's there. You're all by yourself. Everything is your family, your children. Everybody is temporary. So the sages advised him to chant the holy names of Lord Ram. So he started chanting, and he was so impure that he could not chant Rama. So they told him to chant Mara. Mara, Mara. So he said Mara, Mara, which later on, as he got purified, it became Ram, Ram, Ram. He got purified, and the rest is history. He went to write the latest, one of the greatest epics of the world has ever seen, the Ramayana. He wrote the story of Ramayana. So we have this example of somebody who's so polluted, who is advised by this the sages, and they take up this Krishna consciousness and get purified. Then we have examples of great souls, especially in the Bhagavatam, like who were performing Krishna consciousness and they got liberated at the end. We have examples of Prahlad Maharaj, we have Bali Maharaj, all Asuras, example of Ambarish Maharaj. They were all like great souls who would continue to perform their duty and set example to other people, so that other people could actually take up Krishna consciousness. So here, and then what Krishna is, Srila Prabhupada is telling, like one should not stop doing prescribed duty, and one should not run away from prescribed duties. And this is actually explained further in the 18th chapter. Like there are 3 verses which talks about prescribed duties. So if you look at chapter 18, verse number 7, Niyatasya tu sanyasaha karmano papadyate mohatasya parityajas tasmaha prakartitaha. Prescribed duties should never be renounced. If by illusion one gives up his prescribed duties, such renunciation is said to be in mode of ignorance. So what is the illusion we have? Well, the illusion we have is like, we are doing it for everything is our own sense. The illusion we have is we are the controllers, and everything here is for our sense gratification. But then, someone may become like try hard, and then he doesn't become very successful. So he just decides to stop doing his whatever he's supposed to do. Like somebody, they just want to leave their family and then run away into the forest, because he doesn't want to take care of the family, and goes and becomes a sannyasi. So that's he's renouncing. But why is he renouncing? Because he's too lazy and he doesn't want to take care of his family. So that person is actually doing renunciation in the mode of ignorance. Then there are others who renounce the mode of passion, and that example is given here by Sri Krishna. Dukkham iti eva yat karma kaya klesha bhayat tyaje sakritva raja santyagam nevya tyaga phalam labet. Anyone who gives up prescribed duties as troublesome or out of fear is said to be in the mode of passion. Such action never leads to the elevation of renunciation. So initially, when the Bhagavad Gita was spoken, Arjuna didn't want to fight. So what he wanted to give up his duty, as he wanted to stop fighting. And why was that? That was because of a misplaced sense of compassion for his relatives. So here it is, or out of fear. So Arjuna was fearful of so many things. He was thinking he's killing his relatives, he'll get bad reactions, there will be Varna Shankara. And we have all those lists of reasons he gives out in the first chapter. So all the different reasons he gives out. So such renunciation is actually in the mode of passion. So even that is not recommended. And then thirdly, which is like the correct way of renouncing, the mode of goodness. Karyam iti eva yat karma niyatam kriyate arjuna sangam tyaktva phalam chaiva satyaga satviko mataha. One who performs his prescribed duty only because it ought to be done and renounces all attachments to the fruit. His renunciation is of the nature of goodness. So what happens here in this? You don't run away, you do your duty without actually being attached to the results. So that's what the whole Bhagavad Gita is about. Like how, at least the first 6 chapters of the Bhagavad Gita is about karma yoga. And this is karma yoga, which is actually described here. So what he does, what you do here, you do your duty, but you don't like aspire the result. Karmanyeva madhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. You run, all the results are like you give up you leave the results to Krishna, or better still, you work for Krishna. So that's how there's renunciation, the mode of goodness. That's how it is described. And then Krishna further says, those who are situated in the mode of goodness, who neither hate inauspicious or attached to auspicious work, have no doubts about work. So that is the real understanding of work. And there is one more verse, which is the next verse after that. It is indeed impossible for an embodied being to give up all activities. But he who renounces fruits of action is one who is truly renounced. So actually, even though like the person may run away to the forest or or may give up fighting or whatever, one can actually never be inactive. So the only way one can actually be, the one who does real renunciation is one who has given up the fruits of his work. So that's real renunciation. You're working, you're doing whatever, but you're giving up the fruits of the work, or better still, you're giving the results of your work for Krishna. So that's real renunciation. So how do we get the understanding? So this was the understanding which was this was revealed to Vivaswan, and then later on it's being revealed to Arjuna now. So one gets the understanding of what is duty, and what is duty and how to perform duty, and how the relationship between God and soul and all those things. So that knowledge was given to Vivaswan, and the Prabhupada says one should follow the advice given to Vivaswan. So same thing, the Lord gave the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita Vivaswan. Okay, he didn't say, okay, now you've got the knowledge of Vivaswan, you're liberated. He told him to continue your duty. So the sun god, it didn't stop shining or giving out light and heat. It continued to do its dharma, which was giving out sun's light and heat. Similarly to Arjuna, what did he say? He didn't say stop fighting. Instead, he told up, it was like a divine order, order from the Supreme Lord. You must stand up and fight. So that's what, in other words, you must stand up and do your duty. That's don't worry about the result. The results come from me. You'll win or you lose, whatever. But your duty is to fight. So that was what was given to Arjuna. That was what was told to Arjuna by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Arjuna had to stand up and fight. So to retire from the activity of Krishna consciousness, to sit aloof, making a show of Krishna consciousness, is less important than actually engaging in the field of activities for the sake of Krishna. And that's all. We all have to do the same thing. We all have to do the same thing, to purify ourselves, and to purify ourselves, we have to do our prescribed duties for the sake of Krishna. The second part of the verse translation, it says, okay, you should perform your duty and follow in their footsteps. So for the footsteps of whom? The footsteps of great devotees like, Ambarish Maharaj or Prahlad Maharaj, or so. I mean, it's like if you look at the Bhagavatam, all these devotees are from different yugas and they all had different lifestyles. Some of them were kings, some of them were like sages. There are even animal devotees of the Lord, like Gajendra, the plant devotees of the Tulsi Maharani. You can see all these devotees, they were all liberated, and we can actually follow their footsteps. So how do we follow their footsteps? By looking at their examples. And even then, sometimes we may think those people were like, their lifestyle, everything was so different. How can I follow in their footsteps? Like, I'm not a king, or I'm not like a sage. I'm a man living in New Jersey, like, with my wife and kids, going to work like 9 to 5, getting up. How can I follow in their footsteps? That's why Srila Prabhupada, he gave us a formula, like he kind of created a franchise, like all these franchises, like McDonald's, or what is the other thing, like Dunkin' Donuts. They all follow a certain kind of formula, and because of them, invariably, like 90% of them turn out successful. So similarly, Srila Prabhupada created all these franchisee temples across the world, and one who goes to one of these temples and learns from there and follows what they teach us is sure to make success. He can get liberated. So let's kind of example what Srila Prabhupada taught us. So how do we start our day? We go to the temple. The first thing we do is we have to attend the Mangalarti. And what happens at Mangalarti? The curtains open and the Lord is glancing at us. And when the Lord is glancing at us, what happens? It takes away all the inauspiciousness. And we start singing Samsara Dava, Nalalida Loka. And what is Samsara Dava? It's a Guru Ashtakam. So actually, we are actually glorifying the Gurus, not just our own Guru, not just Srila Prabhupada, but all the Gurus in the Parampara. And even though it's Guru Ashtakam and it's like 8 stanzas, the 9th stanza says, those who sing, there's a 9th stanza. This song was written by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti. So there's a 9th line in that, which says, like, those who sing this song every morning, what happens to them? They will get direct service of Radha Krishna in Vrindavan. So once you sing that song every day, it kind of sits in our consciousness, and it actually purifies us. And what do? The next thing is what? After Samsara Daval, we do the Narsingha Arti. And what is Narsingha Arti does? Not only it protects us, it removes all the evil qualities from us, like enviousness, lust, greed. All those things are taken care of. After Narsingha Arti, what do? We sing the Tulsi Arti. What does the Tulsi Arti do? What does Tulsi Maharani give us? She gives us pure devotional service. That's the thing. The pure devotional service is granted by Tulsi Maharani. Whoever circumambulates Tulsi Maharani, even the sins of killing a Brahmana are kind of forgiven. Yani kani chapa pani, Brahmana hatyadi kani cha, tani tani pranashyanti pradikshina pade pade. So we may not know it, but unknowingly, all this thing, we're being purified when we engage in all these activities. Now, all these are actually warm-up activities till we come to the real thing, which is chanting. For the next 2 hours, we have to sit and chant the Mahamantra. So we're chanting the Mahamantra, which is the purpose of the soul, to chant the Mahamantra. That is the real thing. We chant, we purify ourselves, we chant more. And what happens when we chant? We have to relish the chanting. Most of us are not there yet. Like, for example, it's just the opposite of eating. What I'm saying now, what we have now is just the opposite of eating. For example, when we eat food, you're actually relishing the food as you eat it. But once we are fully satisfied, we don't want to eat anymore. But if something is tasty, we may still go and, okay, nice gulab jamun, okay, let me go and eat a little more. Even though we are full, we still want to eat because the taste is there. But in chanting nowadays, what happens? We suffer when we are chanting. Because we're so impure, we don't relish our chanting. And somehow when we get to that 16th round, we finish, we feel like, oh, relieved, we've done our duty, like for today, done. I'm done for today. But that shouldn't be the more time you invest into chanting and the more you concentrate on your chanting, we will start relishing it. I mean, I don't know, but that's all what the guru, all the gurus, and that's what the Shastra and the gurus and all the liberated souls, all the Maharajas, that's what they say. And you can actually see, like some of they'll sit and chant, they'll be chanting. So, it's like nothing in the world is kind of disturbing them. I think there might be like a lot of noise going around, nothing, but just sitting and they're completely engrossed in it. and chanting. We have example of the greatest example of like Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur. Why was he called the Namacharya? Because chanting was his life and soul. You can nothing like the prostitute who comes to him, even like that is the greatest thing. Like people fall because of sex attraction to opposite sex, but even that could not deter him. We have seen we have the example of we have his example. Compare that with what's that, Vishwamitra Muni, who he just hears the bells of Menaka, and then he loses his concentration on or whatever his meditation. But Namacharya, Srila Haridas Thakur, he's so pure that even like his nothing ever, that the lady is sitting, the beautiful woman is sitting right in front of him, but nothing is happening to him. So that's the power of chanting, and that's what our duty is. So once the chanting is over, what do? We say we have the Guru Puja. We have the Shringar Arati. Well, it depends. On some temples we have the Shringar Arati, then the Guru Puja. But in our temple, we first have the Guru Puja and then Shringar. And why do we do the Guru Puja? The Guru Puja, like one who worships the Guru, he makes rapid strides into actually there is in Chaitanya Charitamrita, like I read, like I don't know, this was by Jayapataka Swami. He was saying like three things can make us rapid progress. One is like taking the dust of the Guru and putting it on our head. The other thing is like actually drinking actually eating the remnants of Guru's food, like of prasadam which has been offered to the Guru. And third thing is like sprinkling waters on our head, which has been used to wash the feet of the Guru. So all this, and similarly, Guru Puja is very similar to that. One who engages in Guru Puja makes it's like a rapid strides to go to Golok Vrindavan. And then we go for our job. Traditionally, what devotees would do, they would go for Sankirtan, where they would glorify the Lord, they would distribute Srila Prabhupada's books, things like that. But most of us here, like we go and do our Shudra jobs out there in this, but we get some Lakshmi, which we can actually use in the service of the Lord. So it's not really that bad. We use that money to use in the service of the Lord. We use that Lakshmi to bring up our families, our children, our wife, families in the best possible Krishna conscious way we can, and those kind of things. And then we have then evening we have the Gaura Arati. So what is the Gaura Arati? Gaura Arati, we're praising like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So what happens when Bhakti Vinod Thakur, he wrote he was trying to write the Gaura Arati, and he had a vision of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu being sitting in a regal throne and being worshipped by all the demigods, Narada, all the sages, Narada, Brahma, everyone, they were all doing his arati. So he had that vision, and that's how the Gaura Arati came. So that's the reason why it's a very, very auspicious, which kind of again purifies us, takes us, transports us into Golok Vrindavan. And after that, what we do, we study the Bhagavad Gita, which is the real knowledge. Bhagavad Gita gives us this knowledge, to see things from a perspective of Krishna. We have our own perspective of things, if you don't have this knowledge, we have our own perspective of things. But with the knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita, we get to understand things, how Krishna wants us to see things. And this is that the Bhagavad Gita is the one which is the first, like Srila Prabhupada says, the first thing you have to learn is the Bhagavad Gita, which will kind of raise our consciousness so we understand the Srimad Bhagavatam. Now, like the Srimad Bhagavatam, if you read it directly, a lot of things are if a lot of things will seem ridiculous to us, if you don't have the proper understanding. And why is that? Remember I was telling the other day, we're talking about how faulty our senses are, and like because our senses are so faulty, like we can't see how the demigods or like the higher beings see the universe, So because of that, Bhagavatam, many of the things in the Bhagavatam may not, we won't even understand, like how like how the difference in time in the heavenly planets and here, the time in Vaikuntha here, all those things, we're not going to understand this. But once we understand the Bhagavad Gita, then it gives us like access to learning the Bhagavatam and the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Then those meanings of those things become clear to us. So we read after the Gaura Arti, we read the Bhagavad Gita, and that's how our day ends. I forgot to mention something. We also do after the Guru Puja. We also have Srila Prabhupada also set up like the Bhagavatam. So we have to read the Bhagavatam after the. So all these activities throughout the day is actually purifying us, and as these things purify us, what happens? We'll continue our activities day, our own, like the work we do, we'll continue, but all this will be like we will slowly stop getting attached to the results of our work, and we will start using whatever results we are getting. We'll give up, we'll dedicate it to Krishna. We'll work for Krishna. So that's how Srila Prabhupada set up the whole movement of ISKCON. So anybody who's taken up this boat of ISKCON, Srila Prabhupada says, like, I'll take you back to Godhead. In fact, Srila Prabhupada said, I have a key, backdoor key, which I'll let you all back into Golok Vrindavan. So that's, we have to follow the great sages from the past, the great devotees from the past. And Srila Prabhupada has made it like so easy for us to follow their footsteps so we can all be liberated. So I'll finish here. So any questions, any comments? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Very nice class. You wonderfully explained the activities of all day routine. It's very nice. We are really fortunate to have this routine. So I just wanted to tell, I just heard from Lal Govind Prabhuji's katha about that Gaura Arti.
Yes.
Like Bhakti Vinod Thakur, he wanted to he was just thinking where he would be Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because everything was covered when he was there. So he was standing on the terrace and watching there, and that near Jahnavi river, Ganga, the name of Ganges is Jahnavi there. So he just saw that. So it's so wonderful, like how he explained. He was just watching everything was going on. What we sing every day, we don't feel that, but when we hear from someone, like it's like that, and then we go in that mood, and we also feel, oh, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is there, and somebody chammering, like somebody is having drums and mridanga, everything is going on. So it's really wonderful. So thank you for sharing, Prabhuji, and very wonderful class. Hari Bol.
Bhattaji, on that note, I just want to tell one thing. One thing. When I was thinking about, I read the reason we don't appreciate the songs and all is because we don't know it's written in Bengali, right? So if you know the translation and we kind of meditate on this translation as we sing the song, then it becomes like very enlivening, and we appreciate it all the more. The same thing with the Tulsi Arati, and even the songs in Sanskrit, like the Samsara Dava and all that. If you understand what it is, it becomes more meaningful.
Yeah. That's true, Prabhuji. When I was singing Gaura Arti, like Kiba, I didn't know the meaning, but when I heard from someone the meaning of that Gaura Arti, it's so beautiful, right? All these whatever we have day-to-day routine, it's so beautiful if we go in details, like how Lal Govind Prabhuji is in his katha, each word he's just explaining. So it's really nice to know. When we know, it's really enlightening. Yeah, that's true, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Bhaktaji. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Guruji, for the class. Anybody has any other questions? You can open up. This we have a lot of time. Please go ahead. Anybody has anything to add?
All that Prabhupada has designed for us, you can say, is all makes the day so meaningful. I just wanted to, I was listening to my Guru Maharaj the other day, and he was saying that how if our sadhana is good in the morning, how the spirit, how like if we follow what Prabhupada is saying, just like you said, how we are so full of spiritual energy the entire day, and you want to do more and more and more, you know, like of bhakti or seva. But if we don't follow that routine, supposingly, you know, I'll give you an example. Like I was not able to wake up in time. I woke up just like maybe an hour late because something was going on. I wasn't feeling well enough. And it just kind of, and I had to miss my Bhagavatam class. It just messed up, you know, like my entire day, because, you know, my chanting was delayed, and there was no company of Vaishnavas. You know, I was inside, you know, I was frustrated the whole day. I felt like, why, you know, if I had just, you know, pushed myself to wake up, you know, the whole day would have been more meaningful and more pleasant, and I would have been internally so happy. So just, you know, just wanted to share how, if we follow what Prabhupada is saying, you know, okay, we cannot go to the temple every, you know, but we can do Mangal Aarti at home, and then the chanting and the Bhagavatam. It is just like Maharaj said, you know, like you feel so much that if you have a perfect sadhana in the morning, it just gives you so much energy and so much happiness the entire day, and you want to do more and more. It's not like if you're getting up and doing laundry and cleaning, in 2 hours you feel like exhausted. So just wanted to share that, because I experienced it this morning only, and I was so frustrated with myself. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. I think most of you will agree with me. If you don't wake up, you know, and don't follow this routine, you know, and I personally, even if I missed one class, you know, like I just, you know, like feel the difference.
That's very nice. It just shows your, like, you know, your attachment to the whole, you know, the whole process that Srila Prabhupada set for us. It's very nice, you know, and
Yeah,
ultimately,
and the company of the Vaishnavas, you know, like it gives you so much, you know, like your whole, like you're just spiritually energized. That's what I would say, you know, like you're like just listening to that. And I, you know, like just like I said, I felt more lethargic later. I said, why, you know, I could have taken a nap in the afternoon instead of not waking up, but I just didn't have the energy. But again, you know, like now being in the company of the Vaishnavas, listening to Prabhupada, listening to everything, I feel like content. I feel like, okay, I've done something, you know, nice with my day. I did everything that I was supposed to do, but everything gets delayed. And I feel like I don't know what to say. I'm like full of energy to do whatever now, you know, like, you know, I'm just spiritually like energized right now after attending this class. You know, I feel fulfilled, you can say.
right. Actually, my Guru Maharaj says the more you invest, you know, time or whatever, the more you will relish it and enjoy it. That's what my
Exactly. Yeah, that's the word, relishing it. Yeah. Yes, Mataji, go ahead. Sorry.
Sorry, I interrupted.
Mataji, I was just thinking, Corona is the blessing for us devotees.
It actually, it has been, Mataji, because I was speaking to somebody the other day, I think Madhupati Prabhu, how I was never able to make it for Bhakti Vrikshas because my kids were little, Prabhuji was working, and it always, the Bhakti Vrikshas take place late at night, like Friday nights. And I was like, my entire life, you know, being in ISKCON for so many years, I could never make it. And I always felt that. And I feel like, wow, look, you know, my patience, you know, Krishna heard my prayers. And now I'm attending 2 classes, like sitting at home, getting free spiritual knowledge, and, you know, like from Vaishnavas from our own temple, you know, that thing is there, you know, from our own temple, from people who we know. And it's not even once a week like others got, you know, like we're getting 2 classes. So look how, you know, your patience, again, you know, you just have to be patient, wait for the right time, and Krishna has a plan for you. Don't get frustrated, don't give up. And Krishna has something for us, you know, and like it has actually, and especially you have been really your Guru Maharaj has really have mercy on you, because you are listening to Lal Govind ji too. I did till I started working, I was back to work. But
Yeah, you can listen
yeah.
on YouTube, Mataji.
I do, Mataji,
Yeah.
I do. But his lectures are so long that you really need more time, like on the weekends, to do that.
Yeah.
And that's what I try to do.
Mhm.
Yeah. But yeah, thank you so much for sharing, everybody. Thank you. Haripur.
Hari.
Well, so nice, so wonderful realizations. That's what it is. This word is exactly the higher taste. Many times Srila Prabhupada reiterated the higher taste. When I heard initially, it's, I think the case for everyone, higher taste, what is that? It says, yes, we should really taste, to understand what is the taste for everything, right? So it's only like the higher taste, the spiritual taste. which
Prabhuji,
will-
credit goes to you.
Sorry? No,
Credit goes to you.
You sum
everybody.
up the whole thing.
Yeah,
Prabhu.
that's your idea to start this. Really, it's wonderful,
No,
Prabhuji.
it's everybody. It's
At least adding some value in life. Otherwise, what is the use of this life? But totally we are engrossed in material world.
It's Krishna's mercy. Everything, if you have a desire, then it would happen. It's the
That's what I'm
desire.
saying. That's exactly what I said. I had a desire to listen, and over the past 20 years, it didn't come. And finally, like more than I had expected, more than I deserve, I feel like I'm getting. And Prabhuji,
After you have
I remember Prabhu Sameshwar Prabhu, when on the day last August, when you were talking to Madhuvati Prabhu, and you were like, you were telling him to announce. We were standing near Prabhupada's, Prabhupada, and you were like talking about this Bhagavad Gita class. And when Madhupati Prabhu announced it, and he looked at you because he had some doubt, in his mind that will this, is it practical? And I still remember the nod of your head. You said, like, you nodded your head, and you said your words were, let's do it. I was right there. And
Yes,
now
yes,
it's like May. But I remembered the look on Madhupati Prabhu's face also. He was like, Sumeshwar Prabhu, is this going to be practical? You remember? Do you?
actually, we discussed earlier. Then, he agreed, and he was, yes, little, maybe 20 minutes.
Maybe, right? There was
30
that
minutes.
maybe look was on his face. I was just there, and it was Prabhupada's appearance day, and you were there, and you were like, you were so determined. You said, let's do it.
Yeah, that's what
And
it is.
look, it's already May. We are already like, not May, I mean March, so it's been done, all this, and with Krishna's, Prabhupada's blessings, hopefully it will not stop.
Yeah, I think that's what is the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. And
Yes,
that's also
yes.
wanted to start on the appearance day of Srila Prabhupada, because it's the desire of Srila Prabhupada.
Yes.
That morning stream, everybody, every devotee who claims to be a Vaishnava should attend. That's, please, I'm repeating that word. Every
Should attempt.
devotee who claims to be a Vaishnava, claims to be a devotee, should attend the Srimad Bhagavatam class and chant in the morning, attend Srimad Bhagavatam class, and then evening Bhagavad Gita class, and then follow the orders of the spiritual master. That's a must. And here it is mentioned today, Subal Prabhu was mentioning about all these procedures, or the way, or what is devotional service, really what is the Vaishnava lifestyle. That is a real Vaishnava lifestyle. So we should not minimize, but we are, if possible, please attend the Mangala Arati. But if it's not possible, we also have, the Lord provided the mercy, showered the mercy. We have started the Jabaton, and it's last year we started, and Jabaton and the Bhagavatam class. Jaba starts at 5 o'clock, and Bhagavatam class at 6:30 to 7. These 2 hours, dear devotees, I think it may see that initially it's maybe difficult, or maybe we say that, okay, I have so much of things, but it's not that difficult. When we practice, as Mataji mentioned, that it's a really a wonderful feeling and wonderful experience. That if you join with other devotees who are chanting in the morning, yes, I mean, if if you can chant along with them, or if you don't feel chant along with them, you can actually mute and you can chant yourself, and you can, more into it. But the point is, don't, it is also mentioned that don't sleep so late actually in the morning. This is completely ruin our entire day. But if you get up in the morning at least by 5 or 4:45, whatever, which is you are able to do. When we don't say that, you just come and take up everything all on a sudden. No, but at least we can do little bit. And it should start from the morning. So it's a so wonderful experience throughout the day, and spiritually in charged, and spiritually, all the potencies and the association of the devotees, and wonderful association, and hearing all these times, like, 2 hours is just hearing the holy name, and then the Krishna Katha. And many times I feel so blissful. I mean, going
Always,
always,
Prabhuji, yeah,
always, and going
always.
into the
It's
all.
just that time to connect, is with Krishna. You feel like, forget about family, forget about everybody. This is the time for Krishna. You need to connect. That connection is so important, that connection. Otherwise, and once you taste it, you relish it.
Yeah.
There's no other taste like that.
That's a sadhana. That's a sadhana or sadhana bhakti. Yes, you may not be able to chant 16 rounds or 8 rounds. At least whatever, first thing you should do in the morning when you get up, take bath, and then, come down and sit down, or at least whatever the rounds you promised, or at least you can spend 15-20 minutes even before you enter in the kitchen for Mataji's. Just get a little more time, maybe 10 minutes more early, or 15 minutes early, just before getting into the kitchen, or whatever you do before. Just, take the bead bag, or if you don't have the beads, please contact us, dear devotees. This is our what is called weapon, right? This is our weapon in order to cross over this ocean. You know that we have to come to the shore, and we had to take the shelter of the boat. The boatman has a row, the stick, and he has to row it, and then we can cross over like that. Only way we can cross over the beads, that the chanting, that Tulasi beads that we have. Just that's good enough. Just we have that one. Chant the holy name, keep it in our mind, and we can cross over this ocean. It's so wonderful experience, so wonderful. And probably, you are all experiencing the same, but we are just saying about it, how we can all become more progress in in Krishna consciousness, and understanding these pros and cons of this material world, and how we can understand, the things which are beyond our perceptions, which beyond our capacity, beyond our senses, beyond our intelligence, beyond our capacity. It's all reveals to us. It's all reveals to us. And then we will come to the understanding that is, this is all whatever it is mentioned, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, all is true. And then we all can go from there. And then it's a wonderful experience, wonderful experience. And one should really experience that in this human life, dear devotees. It's not that simple, just simply saying it. You know that many devotees, we all have deities at home. We have this wonderful association, chanting the holy name, listening, reading, hearing this transcendental subject matter and the knowledge. You know that once we go further into it, it's really, it opens up, really gives such a wonderful taste in our life. And like everything changes also accordingly, such a bliss, such a happiness, such a bliss, such a content, such a, humility, such a humbleness, such a, coming out from our proud and arrogance, and it's all lots of transformation. It happens. So only thing is that we need is actually little endeavor from our side, then mercy comes, upon. Just the endeavor is the most important thing. or either follow your spiritual master, either follow somebody, or just listen or listen Bhagavad Gita, or listen Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. Just apply it in our life. That was exactly I was thinking today. That are we making progress? We are all reached up to the 4th chapter, almost we are an year now, right? We started, and not even just maybe half of the year. Are we really making any progress? Are we really getting the knowledge that what we go through every day is really helping me? Is really making any progress in my life? I mean, that's what is we would also like to hear from you. That's why, there is a time and we ask for that. Is it really making, or is it working for me? Or is it that just, just come and hear and just go away, and then there is nothing further out of it, and we just again engage into the, this worldly activities? But is it helping me? Or what should I do? So that's where these questions come. Us, I'm hearing it, I should, experience all this. And if I don't get it, I mean, why I'm not getting it? Or why I'm not, what should I do for it? This should come in our mind. And then you should raise the questions on that. And then, devotees are here, and then, they can understand, reveal. So they can instruct what to do according, like if you go to a doctor, specific doctor, the doctor prescribes the medicine according to the disease of that patient. So this is not a generic medicine. First of all, also understand that. It's not a generic medicine, one medicine for everybody. Yes, in terms of this Krishna conscious, there is a common medicine that everybody can take. But also there are some specific problems for each and every person that, why I'm not getting into it. So that's called in the Sri Rupa Goswami in the Nectar of Instruction, one can speak in confidential. One can speak the confidential that to other devotee, and devotees can exchange this confidential subject matter, so that can help each other. And that's also the another benefit of this association of the devotees. And it's a sangha, is one of the best sangha, or best what is called friend circle, that you can call out the people, the dear devotees here joining together. You can all make friendship. See, that's what is we need, the friendship with the devotees. That's the most valuable, that's the most wonderful thing in this world. The association of devotees and friendship with the devotees. And if you want to share, you want to talk to each other, you want to understand something, if you, okay, I'm going through this way, what to do, even if, you may not be able to directly talk to, gurus or spiritual masters and like that. But there is an opportunity. So this way, and we can all progress in the Krishna consciousness. As I mentioned, it's very, very important, dear devotees, as a human. We never know. There is no guarantee for, there is no that we would be live. But this human life is very rare, but we have, this is the real truth. And that Lord is showering such a mercy for us. And if we just take this little bit of this Krishna consciousness sincerely, it's not for sake for anybody else, dear devotees. Or not, okay, I just want to show that to everyone that I'm so and so great. No, that doesn't work here. It's entirely opposite. So the real mercy, the real bliss, the real taste, when it comes that when you are so connected, sincere, and unconditional, that there is no condition or anything like unconditional, sincerely. That is, this is, my Lord. So that's all come from the faith, and this is for my Lord, and I should do it for the pleasure of the Lord. So I was giving on this Sunday, we were giving this, speaking about it. And John F. Kennedy came to the become a president of the United States, and after his oath, he addressed the nation, and he was mentioning this. John F. Kennedy was saying, "Don't ask not what country can do for you, but ask what you can do for your country." It's such a powerful statement. So we are all actually with this consciousness of the Lord, asking that, oh Lord, what you can do for me. Never think that way. Always think that
Car's not working?
What I can do for you, Supreme Lord. What I can do for you. That is a real love. There is a real sincere effort from our end.
I need my car.
We should always have, I think, devotees have. Okay, so just wanted to add to that. Thank you so much. It's very nice, very wonderful, and please take up at least some extent, so that it's so wonderful. It's a wonderful. You know, this is what is for our life, basically. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Anything else anybody would like to add to this? Anybody has any concern, questions? It's a wonderful discussion forum. This is anything anybody has to add, anything to share, any realizations, experiences. Well, Sharma Prabhuji, you unmuted. You wanted to say something?
No, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Anybody else? Amardanta Prabhu would like to add something on it?
Only thing is, if you're at workplace, you can't listen to lectures, but there are these snippets. If you have a Facebook account, then you could go to this page called Hearing Short Lectures by Srila Prabhupada. There are snippets between 4 minutes to about 7-8 minutes. So from a lecture, these devotees have taken, and that you'd be very easily able to connect. So whenever you have some time, during lunch or whatever it is, you could go through these 3-4 minutes, 7 minutes, that's it. So that also can help your throughout the day, even if you're at work, somehow stay connected. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Sumeshwar.
Thank you so much. And one more thing. Like, we should always, yes, this is the general instructions, and this is as a class, as a lecture, as a Sangha association. But always remember, always keep this in our mind. I would always, many devotees say this one. Even Christ say that, don't break, but bend it. Okay. So what it means for that? Suppose we are now, many times in the family, we have obligations, we have responsibilities. We don't know, right? We so many as it's a unique cases, unique situations. You only know that. So, okay, we got the class, the lecture today that, okay, you go get up every morning, you go to the Mangalarati, you left everything back at home, nothing, no taking care of. It should not be like that. If it is possible, right? Of course, if you are a mother, your first duty is to take care of your children and the family. That's very, very important. Yes, you should find the time. Now it's find the time. Everybody has the time for it. We should put the endeavor, but also at the same point of time, make sure that, you should balance both your, whatever the activities you perform, maybe a mother, maybe a son, maybe a daughter, maybe a grandfather, grandson, whatever it is. Yes, grandfather, grandson, should have more time for it. But as a grihastha, those who started the life, there are obligations, there are certain things. We should definitely take care of that as well. Don't break, that's what is always say, but bend it. That means you should balance it both, and you should have, that's also Krishna consciousness. Don't think that, we keep aside the things and then don't have any kind of obligations or responsibilities. So, okay, just no, that will not work. That will not work. So, it's always keep a balance, and that is also a service to the family and the children. And it's very, very important. That's also Krishna consciousness. At the same time, we should all think that I'm doing this for Krishna, and I should also have some personal time for myself and Krishna. Very important, right? Yes, maybe it may be good. We would say that if it is possible, get up in the morning and do this. But if it is not possible, you find another time for it, right? There is no kala, there is no strict rules for it. It's a Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that there's no strict kala. Tatra bida, niyabida, smaranena kalaha. There is no niyama, there is no kala, there's no time for, devotional service, first of all. All we need to have our sincere and sincerity, our faith for the Supreme, and our surrender to the Supreme, and taking the shelter, the Supreme Lotus feet, the shelter of the Lotus feet of the Lord, and always be Krishna conscious in one way or other. And that way, we can, progress in Krishna consciousness very well. So it's also remember that as well, right? That's always remember. And as a grihastha, we should balance. In earlier time, when the devotees lived in the temple, this was not possible. It was recommended for the devotees those who lived in the temple. But for a grihastha, yes, if possible, please attend the Mangalarati if possible to. But otherwise, we can join the conference. If that is not also possible, that's okay. But at the same time, you can find the time. I mean, nobody can say that, okay, I don't have time in 24 hours. There is a time we can do that. So that's what is the point here. You can dedicate some time in your day, but it's recommended in the morning and all these processes. But if you don't have, yes, there is no worries. You spend a time, you dedicate some time. If you miss an association in the morning, and yes, that's a taste that we feel that, but you spend some time with other association. We already have the internet and all. You can listen we have actually now recording this, both morning and evening Bhagavatam class and Bhagavad Gita class. You can go and listen that, and that way you can also get the association and all those things. So there are so many opportunities, so many ways. So don't miss out that as well. So, but the main point is that our sincere effort, our sincerity, our purity in our heart for the service of the Lord, right? For the pleasure of the Lord. Basically, it's develop the love. Okay, so nice, so wonderful. Anything else? Anybody has anything? Okay, so it's getting a little more. So Sachimada says, when the desires and the endeavor is there, unlimited mercy flows. It's wonderful, Madaji. Wonderful realization. Yes, we should have that sincere desire for the Lord. Basically, that Lord is everything. So how can we actually forget Him? Every moment of our life is mercy. Every moment of His life is His mercy. How can we forget Him? Always that our gratitude, gratefulness, our love, our endeavor, every day. It's so wonderful, wonderful, so wonderful. Yep. Thank you so much. Your association is so nice. Wonderful Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis and the devotees, that they comes together and discussing and sharing their realizations. So nice. This is what it is. And Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita, right, in the 10th chapter, Bodhayanda parasparam kadayandischa namityam pukshyandi jaramanti. Right? When they comes together, they discuss about the Supreme Lord and what they derive great pleasure. That's so nice. Thank you so much. Okay, so if there is nothing else.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you, Subal Prabhu. Thank you, Sumeshwar Prabhu. Always guiding, always inspiring. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hari Bol.
Very nice.
Hari.
Vancha kalpadurubhasya.
Pranabhagnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Vaishnaveebhyo
Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Hey, Krishna.
Jai.
Krishna.
Thank you,
Subal
Prabhu.
Prabhuji.
Great examples. Thank you, Hare
Wonderful
Krishna.
discussion. Hari.
Very well.